the issue of merit. And so
The issue of
majority.
mediocrity.
And majority is centered on the just people of our leaders who see to it that who are we to fight for the just cause of them. We don't see God to fight. We don't see Africa to be the next regionalized hub. We don't see it possible. We don't dream of it. We don't want to envisage it. We don't want to see new characters in our midst. We don't want to see new. We want to see founders who have done great things that Bill Gates being African versions. We don't want to see that because it serves us a company, it serves us a day. We're not satisfied, we're not happy when we see that there's an economy. But it's until we begin to rise up, things will be impossible. So this issue of greediness and this issue of selfishness needs to cease. That is plain, that is clear. It needs to cease, it needs to end, and we need to collaborate and cooperate with each other. We need to be each other's keeper. We need to work with each other. We need to fight the battle together with each other. We need to see a true echoes whereby we see Ghana, Liberia, Senegal, we see Gambia, Mali, really cooperating together. You go to the southern end, you see South Africa, Botswana, there's a real form of cooperation. Not when someone passes on, then the whole stadium is an animal. There must be a realistic cooperation. Because after all, in Ghana, maybe my child brother could have contributed my child, maybe not my relative, that relative could be now from the Nigeria. Maybe when we were migrating from the areas of Mauritania and Mali and Guinea coming to Ghana, maybe part of my family didn't come. And we were so in that scene. And those who came were here. So I only know those who were in Ghana here, and now Ghana became a country, a region. You know, we modern and Eastern Central began to form regional countries. And I know maybe somewhere there, the Ghana people are from relatively money. But we see them not even culture, we relate to them, and we see them as strangers. We are one people. We are one people, and you see my brother who's from Choco, who's from Ever, who's from the water region, sorry. You know from the Tanzania, Chocolate region, you know. But there is this kind of line between us, and we don't want to survive cooperatively, but until we are an attorney who, when their hands help this part, we help each other little bit, that's how we can all get up. It's a contract place if we want to change the systems. If the 5 of us want to do something, if the 20 of us, the 50 of us, the 100 of us want to do something, we must be able to cooperate together because we all have different kinds of talents. I see a football giant, skills man here who owns a football club, you know, who's doing this. I see a great musician here, I see another guy, I see other people here. But if you don't cooperate, everyone is everyone is just with himself. Then you understand that. As football giants, we must go beyond them and see that we are the ones who success. We move. That's how things will go better. Because we want the love for each other. We want the love for each other. So we should begin to stop the only we can cooperate together as African. That's how things will better. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I love the way you like the anatomy. Ghana anatomy, Africa anatomy, the world anatomy. I think if we don't remember anything today, to go only we go with anatomy. So, with that, I'd like to come to Victor Child and Latin to ask him if he has heard about conflict in the world. He has heard about food happening in the world. And if you can give us at least 2 or 3 countries that have already.
Come again?
3 countries.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to give us the name of 3 countries that has had coup.
Oh, you mean the coup?
Yeah, the that.
All right. Yes, the coup d'etat has occurred in Guinea, Conakry, at Burkina Faso, close to Ghana here, and recently at Madagascar. These are the 3 countries.
Okay, so what are the causes of those coup?
Well, basically, the coup have been caused by artificial made, not God made. It is being caused by corruption and bad governance, based on joblessness and abuse of the constitution of the nation. These are the root causes of the coup d'etat. So if there is a employment, there is a flow of economy in the country, good governance, rule of law, I don't think they will get out in the morning they say we are going to take off this government. So this is the causes of coup d'etat.
So if we know the causes, then it should be easy to prevent it, right?
Definitely, if you know the disease, you can be able to cure it. So it is just because of they are now taking it as a thing of business of usual. When they cling to power, they abandon those that make them who they are. So that's the basic disease they have to cure. There are people that make you who you are. So when you get there, never disown them or disappoint them. If you disappoint them, you are in the wrong side. So you have a corporate social responsibility to work for your people or work for your country, not for yourself or your party members.
Thank you. So the last, the coup d'etat that happened in Madagascar, I wasn't expecting this. Should we say anything can happen tomorrow in any of the countries?
Well, it's based on how the situation will arise. Because if there are basic fundamental framework, I didn't think it would go to the extreme end of it. But if there are poor performances, yes, of course, anything will happen based on the frameworks.
Thank you. So if there are poor performances, does it mean that we know it is poor performances and then we can fight it? So everybody know it is poor performances? I really would be happy if we have no at all. We will never hear about it again. How do we come to that? That we will never hear about it. Is this sitting in this room, discussing, having conferences, having seminars, discussing and talking, the book is not good, sending messages to our leaders change, do what the population is looking for. Is it only that, or we need to do something else so we will not hear about who again? What do we have to do? What leaders are supposed to do? We ourselves, we have responsibilities. What should we do? Because next year, I don't want us to come and sit down here and be asking ourselves other questions. I don't want that next year we should say, okay, last year when we sit down before this one there was another group. We don't want something like that. What should we do?
Thank you very much. Even myself sitting here, I don't like coup or I don't like treason conduct. I like democratic will of the people, by the people, for and on behalf of the people. So, to your questions, what will prevent coup d'etat is to empower strong institutions, is to review the electoral laws, is to create an enabling environment for the people. I believe if such a level ground are made, there will be limited coup d'etat. Let them empower the constitutions or the institutions more than the people themselves. But if you leave it, you empower individuals at the end of affairs than the constitutions or the institutions, that the problem will not solve. But if you review the electoral laws, you review the institution and empower them, then they have a sole mandate to tell you what to do, to direct you, and you go by that. I believe the system of coup d'etat will eliminate. It will not be cancelled entirely and final, but it will come down.
Thank you. Thank you. So, we are making a very good approach to different kind of people for you to help us to think of the question. So, people, we have a lot of resources. I don't understand how we are the country or we are the continent is well poor. Africa is poor, Africa is poor, Africa is poor. Why? But all the resources are here. And I don't understand.
Thank you very much.
So how can we enjoy our resources? How can we transform our economy?
Thank you. Africa is a poor. Africa is a poor. There is no way we can sit anywhere and be able to debate the fact that Africa is a poor country. But even after we have all the resources, then how then do we say a continent having all the resources is poor? We, the members or those who are living within the region, feel like it's poor because we decided not to make use of what God has given us. Okay. And all of this, see, that's what I said earlier, that all of this will be better years back. Okay. Whilst we are at the verge of reform, okay, we have come to an understanding that there are some trade barriers that were instituted. And these trade barriers put the fact that Africa can only produce the raw materials. And these raw materials can be exported to the industries that were created by the Industrial Revolution in Europe. And these industries will have the mandate to take these raw materials into finished goods and send it back to us for us to buy at very high prices. Now, once we know that, we intend to create jobs for those in the diaspora or for these European countries. Once we here are just jobs, why would you be poor? It is the people who are poor. We said our resources just like the Republican SR and Jacob country. We sold our birthright to them. Then earlier we realized that the only way to transform our system is to begin to move on the path of industrialization. The better for us. If not, this issue of Africa is poor, the entire year will still be poor. The mindset of being African and poor will still be the same. Now let us go back to our educational system in society. We go to school, we are taught, but the kind of knowledge we acquire is book knowledge. Just recently, I was proving over something. Way back in the university, I was part of, I attended the University of Ghana. I was part of the University of Ghana Parliament for UGP, one of the houses that actually used in politics. Now, after school for some years now, I tried to recall what we used to do in the house. Then I realized that we divided the house into two caucuses, where we have the majority caucus and the minority caucus. I'm just trying to bring us back to appreciate the kind of mentality we gain from this institution. Now, it's a very good institution that tries to train them to be politically effective, to take leadership position in our society. But what I realized now was that when we were there, the majority caucus and the minority caucus always have a debate. Now, the majority caucus must always support any debate that comes to the house. And the minority caucus must always go against or must always be speak against any debate that comes to the house. wages that we must all come to an appreciation that this is the way to go. The minority must always have a stand to say that though it is white, we are seeing it as black, and for that matter it is black. And we need to do everything to make sure that we meet the people. Now, of course, our part of the minority board. So I feel that this kind of education, all the way is beginning to create a traditional mindset in the minds of the youth. Look at our parliament today. Look at the kind of leadership that we have. This is the time that we need to take our problem of the country to the next level. This is the time that we should be able to back the policies that the ruling government is bringing on board to make sure that the gains that we have lost in the past, okay, are regained. And this is the very moment that you see for the politician trying to keep again some meaningful debates, kind of the big push agenda debates like trying to build E-plus to empower our educational system, the gains that we should be able to bring on board good textbooks that will teach our children, our culture, and the African heritage, and all of this thing. When we know this tangent, then there is no way we are going to enrich ourselves as a people. Our culture is weak, our way of processing the thinking is weak. Now our resources we are sending to other countries to bring it back to an higher price. I was watching the documentary yesterday, and it is believed that Africa holds most of the second-hand dresses that is new. And this dresses, by the time they reach our country, about 48% of them are started. When we discard it, our water bodies, we go to Choco and other parts of Accra. We know that the whole place is full of filth. Our carpets are choked with this filth. And you need to ask yourself, how are we expecting from when most of the resources, the finances that we have to invest in other parts of our economy, I need to bring this garden to take care of things that will be important is a lot of money. It cannot be followed. So we see the mentality needs to change. We need to now begin to understand and see. These trade barriers that already started in the past were not things that are facing us. And I don't think any businessman who is making a business sit at the table and then the calls are pulled out and you realize that you're not going to sit at the company, you still go for it. So I don't see what exactly our ideas are doing. The fact that we realize that these three things are not going to work. Close the borders. Okay, see.
But you just said that the borders, some imaginary borders were created.
I'm not talking about the borders between African countries. I'm talking about our borders, our relationship. If you realize that we are in a trade relationship, it's not helping us. Okay, it's only your interest. At the end of the day, we are the far end of it. We are now receiving the backlash, destroying. We're talking about prices.
So whether the borders are against the world, so, but it is probably not interesting because if you are going to close a border, they are not created the borders. And we were saying, okay, these borders created are not good. We can also close them, and they are also closed. So in some way, the border that was created was also closed.
So if I say we should close the border, these are abstract issues that I'm talking about. The border I'm trying to talk about the relationship that we have with Europe. Okay, we have had a trade relationship with the global market. Now, in most cases, if you go to the various shops that we have on this town, you hardly see our local immigrants in the shop. The rice you see is pork rice, those kind of rice that are important to the system. And even our oil, we have a very nice oil, the palm oil. The president is to revamp palm oil industry. Our coconut oil are very tasteful, to be pressed, we really enjoy it. And then what we see the frytol, all the other stuff. Apart from that is something we are all doing. It's not easy. But at the end of the day, we all go after the people. We don't know that the White House gets to ship the the end, those that are really important details don't even use section. They pack on you to put them in back. And right there at the shop, you begin to discuss. What I'm trying to say is that if you are calling the space and you realize that it is no longer in our interest, it is causing more harm than good. Let's start the relationship.
Okay.
Let's start it.
All right. Starting a relationship, you have to prioritize it. When we start a relationship, we still be depending on them. We still be depending on the foreign aid. When we start a relationship, are we going to be affected? Because we want to be fully independent. We say, oh, we are independent. But you and I know we are not really independent. We are still depending on aid, foreign aid. So, what do you have to say about this?
But I think what our brother was saying, before from the video saying that mutual relationships is sometimes essential to be very certain on how you want to let your goals and your identity be in a relationship. Sometimes that's very fair, all times, very respect. But in this world we are in, you can't walk alone. You must be able to function as a law natural. Resources that are being transcended and present in Africa, which are present in and so on, and will be us. But it's whereby we become comprised to their superiority over us. So we must never accommodate. So we must be able to cooperate and collaborate and move together and relate and work together, but it must be on equitable terms. It must be on equitable terms. And of course, if we are cutting down relationships, then is to make sure that our sovereignty is the equality in the process of maintaining our sovereignty. So when we see Russia and we see or when we see countries that solute with the solution for another country, because if they hold their how something is properly by the entirety, the entire government there, what politics and sexuality to them. So they want to now be independent on their own. Yes, for their sovereignty. So kind of relationships is for sovereignty. If at the end both countries will cooperate together, we'll see South Sudan and we'll see Sudan, we'll see Rwanda and Eritrea, we'll see countries that are no more but operating on standardized steps. So it's very, very common. So it's all about something, it's all about everyone having the right to resolve, to take decisions as they fit. That's why in Ghana here, even that is not with them. They have the right to speak to their government. They need to share the government's with them. So that's what it goes to be. That's what I feel that it's very transcendent. If we know the society, we must all be able to compete. Work as a globalized world. But the systems whereby they are trying to triumph over our warfare and making that is how things must go. And that's why when our brother was talking about Peter issue, about talking about how Peter is not the Peter, but it happened because of various types of extremist things that take place. Yes. We all know this that we all want sufficiency, we all want equality everywhere. But the system whereby you are trying to downplay on our rights. If returns can be the only option, which will lead to the restoration of the true democratic order that still can be still countries. Let's go and analyze what is going let's see how Kenya will go. Mali, yes, Mali, let's go see how Mali will go, and let's see how this rest will go. But we can be very that Burkina Faso and Traore is definitely existence, and he is going not contrary to what he wanted Burkina Faso to be. So if things are going to be regulated to restore the genuine order, the rightful order, for the democratic order of the people, which has been something we will never ever forget. But if in a case like this, they come out with the right things, that's how this will go.
Thank you. I will look at you. Yeah, you want to
say
say
something?
something?
Yeah.
See, I understand that the world, we live in a world where we need to be able to interact with each other. And this is not a 21st century idea. The way back to this, we see our own from this imaginary barriers in Africa is a good trade among each other. It is as a result of our cultural diversity and geographical diversity. We cannot have it all. I know that our relationship with other parts of the world is important. But the reason why I'm trying to have this is once we begin to as people, we adapt to our environment. And by adaptation, we are able to use what we have in our environment alive. We do not really need anything outside of our environment. It is because of exposure, the issue of globalization has brought this issue of that, okay, I will be able to get something outside of my generation, and that will not survive. But if we are very, you see, this is 54 countries in the country we are talking about. It is not as if we are really emphasis on just 10 countries, 4 countries. No. We are talking about the second largest country in the world. What exactly are you saying?
What exactly?
What do you think we get to? You see, I agree with the president when he said that it is the fact that we want to complete on our sovereignty, then it is not going to happen. And that is why I'm calling the statement. Because we've been calling on this issue, this is never the idea of the we have pinpointed those at the UN General Assembly, not today, and at least in the recent time, President Mahama, Ruto, President Ghani, and the rest are also saying the same thing. What I'm just trying to say is that you see, it is enough for us to continuously believe that this is due as due to us. Who made them belong to us? Who made them our securities? We have never had any relationship with them. They came in to trade with us. They took advantage of our charity, and they became our bosses. And then they turned us to slave, and they colonized us. We were there when in 1884 to 1885, when they decided to scramble Africa, divide it among themselves as if it was their property, and stolen our resources, taking what is due us all the way from us. Now you see, we are still here begging them that, oh, we want to be part of the Security Council, we need slaughter, fine. Now we are African, we can feed the world, so you have to begin to respect that. See, if you find yourself in the association of people who don't see your value, alright, the best thing you have to do is to take a backstage and let them survive and let us. We may not have it simple it will be difficult, but I don't think 1.5 billion people will not be able to survive and forge a way forward for themselves if they are ready to get rid of those who undermine the order. So the only thing I'm just trying to say, this is a challenge to us. And when you check, Great Britain is trying to come. Russia is now on the continent, trying to align with that. What exactly are they saying? What exactly do they want? Why do you think they are here? China is foolish. You see Ghana and Chinese, they are everywhere. What exactly are they saying in the country? That we cannot create and make sure that we are able to come out of this kind of depression or kind of undermining that we see from us. So if you ask me not to, if we are not ready to listen to us, we should just cut the ties. If they want to do business with us, we are not saying no. But this time around when they come, it is it's going to be on our hands. And if they are not ready to go with our hand, you can take the message. They should see us after. That is fine. But I believe that when we progress, we will be able to make it. Rome wasn't doing it. Britain didn't just stand up and go to God. United States of America didn't just stand up and go to God. United Arab Emirates. It took them just about 10 years. First, United Arab Emirates is just like this one. How do they get there? It is resilience. It is the desire to excel. That's what they do. So if a whole continent as Africa also wants to develop, I think the world is we don't need to ask permission from anybody across the world. We just have to stand firm. We just have to be ready and tell ourselves that this is what we need to do. And give ourselves a plan. And when we follow this plan, I believe I will believe.
Thank you very much. I would like to know that Isaac.
Yeah, in this place, you see that I'll begin to side with him. Because we are freedom giants, so we always have, we are always on the same line of action. So in this place, we can be able to survive now. Our purpose, as for legend, we will say, how the aim becomes our purpose, and we made it to our purpose. We don't need any whole country to determine our fate of survival. We will survive on our own, provided we are united and we work together. And we have vivid places that are transcendent for the right government. But the fact that our leaders are in there with their friends and their families, and they don't want to see anyone cry. That's why things are how they are. But when we begin to rise up, when things are put in place, that this gentleman who can become the next Sarkodie, can become the next Sarkodie. DJ Freedom Giants, Rich Needles, is a phenomenal rapper. If the right systems are given for dualistic growth, and he's speaking about nation building, yes, he's also going to talk about nation building in his thoughts. How we want it to work together. One Kapato race is here and he's saying, if there is pluralistic enablement for all of us, we will be able to thrive. Now, with the last president, I see African pride. That's right. We are getting there. We are getting there. And this is through radicalism. This is through radicalism. We're now taking our destiny to our own hands. That's why we can see so now we have President Faye. We are seeing in Burkina Faso. We are seeing in Ghana here. We are seeing. We don't have to be too quick to judge sometimes the fate of creators, but we are seeing that there is a passion by citizens, expressing their distaste for how governments are behaving. So there is an uprise, and little we are getting there. Africa is getting there. So to get to a time that if you are a good dictator, if you are a democrat, whoever you are, you can't survive in Africa.
Okay,
So the youths are rising.
So we are getting there. We understand what you are saying that we are getting better and better.
Yes.
So does it you think we can promote good governance?
Yes, we can.
And we can
Then it's going up to our business. So we won't sit down for whoever. If you are the mayor of Banjul, if you are the mayor of You are whoever you are, and I need to be a slave to survive this terrain because I won't be a slave. I won't do that. Once we keep on doing rescues, it's work out. So that's what we apologize. Apologize are not rebels. We're not rebels, please. We're not rebels. We're not terrorists. We
What
are
about
not
prosperity and
terrorists.
stability?
We are just people who want peace. Yes. We are asking for peace.
Prosperity, what do you feel about it? Prosperity and accountability.
Yes, transparency and accountability. Even with what's going on in our countries, whereby sometimes leaders come in and they try to take off, I don't say something Ghana here, but they come and they want to change certain positions. Well, to favor their cause. Regardless of what is going on, there is a diplomatic uprising. Because now leadership have the right and they have the right to express annoyance. They also want to be encouraged to say this and that. So we are getting there. We need to keep going. We're not be silent because we are the future bearers. Yes, we need to rise up for the change that we did it. That's what the campus that's now is up to. So if you can all believe, all of us who are here, if you can all believe, the next 5 years, things will be different. Because we are looking forward to doing so many things, changing things on our own, differently, in different ways, right from education to agriculture to everywhere. And there's a base and a long time we remember it. Things will work out for just needed to defend our office. That's what we've done. That's what we've done. So in the future, when we are in the stadium, when the stadium are not programs in the stadium, we will remember those who gave us defense in the year of defense. And their names will all be down.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any last word before I take the last word?
No, please.
So when you discuss the microphone, you don't tell us at all. Please can you give us your last word? Yes.
Thank you very much. I think that we've had a very productive session. And Africa on board. My last words will be that Africa is not, once again, Africa is not emerging. Africa is here. And so Africa must be on board. And it also deserves a seat. And Africa also deserves a seat. And not to be in the audience, but at the boardroom. Africa on board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to hear the last word from you.
Thank you very much. My last message will be that nobody will design, amend, or develop Africa for us, except we have to take it our bold steps. We have to sacrifice. We have to be rational and change the mindset of Africa. We have to go back and rewrite Africa history. Nobody needs to write the history of Africa and give it to us. It will be manipulated. So let us rewrite Africa for us, develop Africa, invest in Africa, create Africa, make Africa great again, and let us all rise as one block, not as isolated 54 countries, but as one. If that is done, I believe we will get there at the right time. We have to work as one. Together, we shall be prosper. So with this, this will be my last message. Thank you, everyone. May God or Allah bless all of us.
Thank you. So, yeah.
let's talk about let's be resolute in our cause. Let's that we can make it happen. Let's provide no matter how difficult it takes. Let us relate, let's forgive it. It shall happen. Let's be a testament to all of them to make it happen. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. We are one. You can tell. As we resolute, we'll make it happen.
Okay, so like I always push, I believe that we are counting still where we need to be radical as a country, where we need to follow our own states. I believe, as my colleagues have said, that unity is the way to go. And if we are able to get a united front, it will really make us to be asking for a safe and a security council and be pushing other people who think themselves as veto powers to give us a crown of the brain. But if we are able to unite ourselves into a single force, we will be able to push the world around and we will listen to us. Thank you.
Thank you.